Dana, could you comment on these impressive quotes? This journey has always been about reaching your own other shore, no matter what it is, and that dream continues.
It was a life lesson to me. You know, I spent 30 years after trying Cuba, was 28 years old, couldn't get back into Cuba when I was 29 and 30. The doors were shut. And by the way, our team likes to think that just in a minor person-to-person way, that we had something to do with the connection and the rapprochement between Cuba and the United States. We like to think that. But in those days, doors were closed, couldn't get back in, and I was 30, I was getting offers from the wide world of sports, and I don't know about you, but since I've been a kid, I've wanted to say the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat on the air. And you know, it's perhaps the, what they call the tragedy of sports, the only profession that you retire young. And so I left the Cuba dream behind, and during those 30 years, 30 to 60, I kept my eye on it, and I would never, you know, a sporting person, I wouldn't wish anybody any harm, but when they wouldn't make it, each time a swimmer would go across, I was doing a little happy dance. The dream is still alive for me. And I started to feel during those 30 years, I mean, how can I complain? I'm working for National Public Radio, the cream of the crop, really, and I'm traveling around to Olympic Games and Wimbledons and following people pursuing their excellence. But the truth is, toward the end of that 30 years, I started to feel like a spectator. I wasn't a doer anymore. I was following other people chasing their dreams. And where was my dream? And I was just, you know, looking myself in the mirror virtually every day saying, you know, who are you? What are you doing with your life? And I actually wanted to call this book, I wanted to just outright steal the genius poet Mary Oliver's phrase, one wild and precious life. Because I had read her poem, The Summer's Day, a few times in my life. But I specifically went and dragged it out of my bookshelves when I was feeling this malaise, coming up to 60, and my mom had just died, 82. I thought, 22 years to go? You know how it is. You snap your fingers. 10 years, boom. And she has the last two lines of that poem are you probably know it, everybody, it's a rhetorical question, but I can't put life any better than her two lines. And she says, tell me, what is it you're doing with this one wild and precious life of yours? And when I asked myself that, it didn't take long to get the answer. Cuba, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna live it big. And you know what, Joe? Even back in my 20s, Cuba was never about sports. It was never about setting another endurance record. I had done a lot of that. I just wanted to live large and have to be everything I am. And the team have to be everything they are, to even give it a try, much less to make it. So I don't know about that quote, but it sounds pretty good.